Hi Sidra.
Hi Sidra.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. So Sidra, tell me something about you. What are you proud of and what are you embarrassed of?
If I have to think of two things that I'll be proud of and embarrassed of, in my 12th board, I received certificate of merit from CBSE for being in the top 0.15 percentile of students because I scored 98 out of 100 in English. So that's one thing that I'm really proud of. And if I have to think of any incident which I'll be embarrassed of, so that's an incident of 5th semester. I was in the digital library of my college, and I was so there are different computers, and there you plug in your earphones and you can just study anything. I was actually preparing for CAT, so solving quant questions. And I have this habit from childhood to listen to music while solving maths. So I was doing that. And while I was studying, I started singing that song along with it in a loud voice. And because it was a library, I was very loud, and people around me did not stop me. And after a while, after a few minutes, I saw there was a lot of people around me. There was crowd, and then the librarian came to stop me. So that was really embarrassing at that time. And I don't sing well, so.
So let's assume one of the major criteria for selection at IIMB is singing. What will you do?
So do we have any other criteria as well?
Let's say it's paragliding and Kathak.
So if you see my application form, I have mentioned my hobbies and interest as adventure sports and dance. So I'm into dance, not the classical form, but because I'll be able to learn it quickly. I think that's one thing I can cover. And paragliding I've already done at beer billing. So I think I'll be able to make with these two parameters.
Still, let's assume the major criteria is singing. What will you do?
How much time do I have? Like it's the criteria is released, I think, before 2 months of the interview. So I will, because I'm not good at melody and rhythm, I will prefer English songs over Hindi songs and English rap songs, because there I'll have to focus more on lyrics rather than the melody. And I think that is one thing that I'll be able to do better than proper Hindi songs, if that's a criteria for admission.
Do you have a campus offer?
Yes, sir.
Where?
So currently I have an offer from Accenture with the profile of data engineering analyst.
So why don't you go for the job? Have 1 or 2 years of experience and then come do an MBA. That's what the general trend is saying.
Yes, definitely. Going for work experience prior to MBA would give me corporate exposure. But what I feel is my career goal here is not aligned with the profile that I have right now. I want to pursue an MBA because I want to learn different managerial domains that would help me to become a competent manager in down the years. And this profile will not help me much there. So I feel that achieving that goal earlier in my life would help by doing an MBA right now.
But we are of the opinion that if a person is experienced, he's able to contribute to the class and contribute to the peer group. In your case, you'll only be learning for yourself. So what will you be bringing on the table for yourself and the candidates with experience?
All right. So I agree that a person with work experience has that exposure and would be able to contribute more. I would not be able to contribute from that perspective, but yeah, as a fresher, I would bring a new perspective. I have that enthusiasm in me about contributing to myself. As I said, I'm a very quick learner. I'll be able to learn and grasp things at an earlier pace, contributing to the college and to the peer group. I am very competitive in nature, and I'll be participating in almost every competition or every corporate competition. I'll be representing I'm Bangalore. And apart from academics, I am a good dancer as well. I was the member of the Cultural Society of NIT Bhopal, and I participated in many inter-college competitions. I can do the same here and bring laureates to the college.
So, hi Sidra.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. So tell me, what is your favorite subject and what has been the subject that you hated the most?
So as per se, there was no subject which I hated the most, but which I liked the least would be mass transfer, and the subject that I liked the most was thermodynamics.
Okay, so why did you hate mass transfer?
Because it has multiple unit operations which have very minute differences in their separating principles, and it is difficult to understand that as compared to the other subjects of chemical engineering.
Oh, so that means you're afraid of complexities, right?
I won't put it that way. Rather than being complex, it was more difficult because of the minute differences. So that's one thing. Differentiating factor was very less in the different operations. That is what made it least interesting to me, and that's the reason why I did not like that subject.
Sidra, management is all about being able to deal with different works at the same time. Has there been any instance in your life where you face such management issue?
Yes. So as I mentioned that I was the part of cultural society of NIT Bhopal. In the society for different events, we need to bring sponsors for the event. And in my second year, I had my exams, like before that, the practical exams, and the event was also aligned on the same timeline. So I had to manage my academics and the sponsorship thing for the society as well. And I was leading the team at that time. So that was one thing when I managed multiple things in my life.
Okay. So suppose there is a scenario in which you have an event in 2 days and the principal sponsor for the event backs off just at the last moment. So what would you do?
First, I would like to know the reason why that principal sponsor backed off, and I'll try to solve that specific reason. If it's not the reason where we are supposed to help, then because the timeline is very less, as you said, 1 day before the event, I would do work extra number of hours to bring the sponsors as compared to the number of hours that I was giving before, and I would try to bring small sponsors with little amount as compared to one big sponsor, because I feel giving a high principal amount is difficult than giving small amounts. I'll bring multiple sponsors to replace that one sponsor.
Okay, but still, if he's adamant to his decision, then
Yes, so I will compensate that one sponsor with multiple small sponsors with their small denominations.
Okay. As you mentioned in your scorecard, it's a 98 out of 100 in English. So why did you pursue engineering? Why didn't you go for, let's say, literature?
Yes, so I had 98 out of 100 in English. That's a language, a very big deal for me. But apart from that, also I had interest in physics and mathematics per se. And I had decent scores in those subjects as well. I had 97 in maths and 95 each in physics and chemistry. So I had a good score overall. And because of my interest in physics and mathematics, I went ahead with pursuing engineering.
Okay. Your performance is really well in your academics throughout. But your marks in your semester are actually a little fluctuating. You start with 8.84 CGPA and all the semesters you have the same around 80s. But in the fifth semester you dip to a 7.6 CGPA. Is there any specific reason?
I would not blame the circumstances here. It was it was kind of my failure, because I during the fifth semester I started procrastinating studies. I should have dealt with it more responsibly and started studying before some time rather than just studying on the last moment, because I was diagnosed with chickenpox at that time and couldn't study during the period of exams. But again, it was my fault. I should have studied it before, because there are certain unforeseen circumstances that could just arrive. So that was one thing that I should have dealt with better.
Okay, you mentioned you have enthusiasm bringing to your table, and from your SOP we can see that you have a decent amount of experience in involvement in extracurricular activities. So can you throw some light on that instances and show where you've showed leadership skills?
So as I mentioned, I've been the member of cultural society. Then I had did my industrial training at BORL, Bharat Oman Refineries Limited, where different chemical engineers from different institutes come. And we were allotted different groups, and I was made the leader there. And I was also the literary minister in the school cabinet in 11th standard, where we were in charge of the discipline of the entire school. And apart from that, the entire literary club was under me, and I had to look after all the activities. And in my college, I was also the member of Chemical Student Association, where I had to manage entire GLs and different lectures for the student of the association.
Thanks, Sidra. It was nice talking to you.
Thank
have
you,
a good
sir.
day, Sidra.
Same to you, sir.